afternoon, goeiemiddag. Welcome to everyone watching, no matter where in the world you are, and welcome to everyone in our beautiful country, South Africa. It is an absolute privilege for me to be back, starting 2022's first live with you all, and also my and my family and our business's new journey. I am Nadine Vosloo, Mama Tjhoko, and I haven't went anywhere. I have my roots here in South Africa, and it's an absolute privilege to be telling you that I have moved to the Eastern Cape. So we are based now in the Eastern Cape, and you are with me in my own store, my Tjhoko store in St. Francis Bay. In the Eastern Cape, I wish you all the most amazing start to 2022, and we are going to start this live session by giving some inspiration on how to stencil a raised stencil effect on a cement floor. So in the factory in Randfontein, and hello to everyone there, I am missing you all so much. We have numerous cement floors that we have stenciled with Stencil of Paris, and I will show all the steps shortly, painted them, and we've sealed it with our clear glaze, and it's now 4 to 5 years and they're all still in impeccable condition. I have never tried this technique on a tiled floor. However, in the store that we are opening, the tiles are various colors, 50 shades of creams. So I need to think of a creative way in transforming these tiles so that they look stylish. I haven't done this technique on a tiled floor before. That's why the caption for this tutorial says cement floor. Because on a cement floor we've done it, we've tested it, we know it lasts. Tiled floor, I'm going to test now, and I'm going to keep you updated on what the results are. But if you have a cement floor at home that you want to revamp, that's covered. This is a technique that you can definitely do to just give it some new life and new love. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a Tjhoko stencil in this design. The design is mentioned on the caption. I can't remember exactly what it's called. First, very important step is to clean your cement floor properly with lacquer thinners. This is a very important step. As the thinners etches the surface, it removes any oil or dirtiness that can prevent the Stencil of Paris and Tjhoko paint from gripping to the surface. So that's the first step. Then, very important, you are going to allow for the thinners to evaporate dry. I am working in a shop that has a beautiful ocean view, and what I've noticed during the time revamping the store, putting in the shop fitting, that's what I've been up to, everyone. Paint does take longer to cure close to areas where there's higher humidity, more moisture, and where it's cooler. So just allow for your thinners to evaporate dry naturally, more or less 40 minutes is still fine. And then I'm going to use a product that we manufacture that's called Stencil of Paris. I don't have the jar, sorry, but I have scooped it out in a paint lid. Okay, so stock still needs to arrive. So I'm working with paint that I've ordered to revamp the store. If you're ever in this area, you need to come and pay us a visit. I'm now going to apply my Stencil of Paris on my stencil design with a paint scraper. You can also use a paint trowel. Important, look for areas where the stencil can lift and make sure you spread the Stencil of Paris in the opposite direction. What I am doing is I'm spreading the Stencil of Paris evenly all over my stencil. Remember, I'm doing this on a tile floor, but I don't know the results yet. This technique has been tried and tested on raw cement floors with great success. So how do I clean my stencil afterwards? You make sure, if you want to repeat the pattern, that the stencil is clean on the other side, on the back, by just wiping it clean. And if you want to clean the stencil completely, when it feels that there's too much paste on your stencil, you wash it in warm water. So every evening when we're done with the revamp of the store and all the stencils that we've been using, I wash my stencils in my bathtub and just make sure I remove any bits and pieces before it runs through the drain, just to prevent the drain from blocking. Okay, so this is the technique for applying your stencil of Paris paste. Now the drying time of this will depend on, first of all, the temperature you're working in, and second, the thickness of application. And then also the area where you're working. Is it more humid? Is it more, is it colder, a colder environment? So I will allow this paste, because I will be completing the floor, dry overnight and then do the next day, or anything between 2 to 4 hours. But you will see when it's dry that you can't press your fingernails into the paste. It sets completely. So this paste is called Stencil of Paris, for those that don't know. For those of you that are avid followers, I'm so happy to be back. I was actually nervous doing a live today because I think the December month was just too long. I'm out of practice. Okay, so my paste is spread evenly. I remove my stencil while the paste is still wet. And there you can see a beautiful raised design. I will just now do this on the entire stencil. And next step is to allow for this to dry. I'm just going to pop my stencil there. Second step. Now you are going to allow for your Stencil of Paris to dry. Your floor has been washed already with lacquer thinners. You don't allow anyone to walk over your floor. And next I'm going to paint my floor with Sherif stone. So, and you don't walk into your wet paste. Okay, okay. You don't let anyone walk into your wet paste, and you also don't walk into it. I'm going to use the color Sherif stone. I pour some in a paint tray. And the easiest way of doing this now is to, I have attended some meetings today, so I'm painting with a dress, but as most of you know, I don't have clean clothes in my wardrobe at all, so everything has a touch of Tjhoko on it. It's the signature. So I'm using a mohair roller. You can also use a classic roller that will also work. So this is a classic roller. This is that we use to paint wall surfaces. That will also work. I make sure, and Tjhoko. And by the way, my filming crew today is Tjhoko, Monica sitting on a bucket, and that has been assisting me with the revamp and the cleaning of the store, and Suzuki. Suzuki, jy moet waai. Suzuki is in the Eastern Cape, and Suzuki is helping. Suzuki, kom sê vir die mense, hallo, kan jy oor hierdie vloer loop? Suzuki is doing cut lines there at the back. Kom Suzuki, kom sê hallo. I would not be able to do this revamp and all the magic that has happened in here if it wasn't for Dieter from Hip Creations, Hip Projects, Suzuki, Simon Zondi, and then Spackies. And Spackies is not here now, Paul Lewitz, one of our representatives that brought Suzuki to me to assist. Say hello, Dumela, Sambonyani. Suzuki is my wingman. Okay, now I'm going to use a roller. It's easier than a brush. And I'm going to roll, and here you can zoom in, Yaku. And then, of course, the greatest support is my family, my husband and my children. That's so part of the journey. Okay, so I'm rolling my first coat onto the floor with a roll stick. En dan vir al die Afrikaanse mense daar buite, dis my heerlik om terug te wees. Ek het julle almal so baie gemis, en dan soos ek so baie sê, ons het soveel kykers in Italië, Switserland, Australië, Nieu-Seeland, wat ons volg, Ierland selfs, en ons Afrikaner harte wil net altyd hê almal moet gehelp word, en dis waarom die live sessies in Engels plaasvind, so vergewe my daarvoor, maar dis maar net om tegemoetkomend te wees vir almal. So ek rol, waar jy sien, my rolstok is nou full tantrums, where you see that there are grooves that the roller can't reach, you can take a paintbrush and just reach those. So after your first coat, you are going to apply a second coat. Now the second coat will be applied more or less 40 minutes after the application of the first coat. So after your first coat, allow for the paint to dry, 40 minutes at least, and then apply your second coat. Then also allow a drying time of more or less 40 minutes, and now we are going to do a wash technique onto this design. So I'm going to put my paint tray, my roller aside. I'm going to make use of the color David and a piece of mutton cloth. I'm going to take normal water, dip the cloth in my bucket of water, take some David with my hands that are so wet now. Suzuki, sal jy help? My hand is nou so nat. Dankie. Take some David, you know me. I don't mind getting dirty. You can do this step with a paintbrush. So I take David, I spread it evenly into my piece of wet mutton cloth. The cloth is not too dry because you want to distribute the paint nicely and evenly, and the wetness of the cloth makes that possible. And now I'm going to start applying the wash technique over here on a paint section that has dried already. So I move my water here and my David. I have stenciled this section. I have allowed for the stencil of Paris to dry properly, 2 to 4 hours or overnight if you wish. I have applied my first coat of Sherifs stone. Now remember, you can use any color that works in your space. For mine, I've selected this color choice, Sherifs stone. After my first coat, 40 minutes drying time, second coat, 40 minutes drying time, and now I'm going to apply my wash technique. So I'm taking that cloth, I'm folding it like a ball in the palm of my hand. I press it flat with my free hand, and I work in circular motion. So this floor or a replica of it, you've seen in numerous of our Instagram posts. And by the way, if you are on Instagram, we have nearly reached 10,000 followers. Please go follow us. We share beautiful images on our page. And then you will also be able to see what the people of Italy does with Tjhoko paint, and Switzerland. It's so exciting to see our proudly South African brand being used all over the world. So I'm just spreading it. I'm even going over the sections that we have done earlier. And remember, anything can be changed. If you want to create darkness again, you can add some Sherifs stone on top. I just have a dirty section there. And now the next step that I can't show you because I'm still waiting for my glaze to arrive, is to mix your glaze, 3 parts clear glaze, 1 part water, and the next day I'm going to, with a damp microfiber cloth or mutton cloth, spread my glaze in circular movement in a well-lit space. So switch on those lights, make sure you work in nice circular even motions all over your floor surface, just to add extra protection, and try not to walk on the surface for at least a day or 2. And this is how easy it is. We had numerous people asking us to show the step and the technique, and here you go. I'm just going to safeguard myself again. I have not done this on a tiled surface before. This is our first. But I am going to keep you in the loop. Or just come to our St. Francis store and see if it holds up. If it doesn't, I will just do some touch-ups. My message for the week ahead is embrace life. It's a new year with new opportunities. Also maybe new challenges. But face it and go for it. Make life matter. We only have one life. We must live it up. So have an amazing week ahead. Believe in yourself, be creative, enjoy life. And then I can't wait to share the rest of our Tjhoko journey with you for the year 2022. Thank you for all the support. It was lovely to see everyone over the holidays. It's lovely to meet the faces behind the messages. Look after yourself. Till next week. Take care. Bye.